Hi, Tea Society. Welcome back to the Antisocial Planet. Today we are checking out Tower of God Season 2, Episode 11, and I'm getting stressed out because we're dealing with all the stuff that has to do with Cassano and the statue and Miss Bunny, but apparently not. Giving a little chibi at the end, the credits. Everything going on. And Khun's there, and he's stuck in a trap, and he's like, oh, you mean getting attacked by the snake guy? And I'm like, no, you just don't know yet. And it's just, there's lots of pieces coming together at this point, which is needed, but it's gonna be a lot. And I'm still a little bit disappointed about some of the animation stuff. I'm starting to understand where people are coming from. I was doing okay for a little bit. Now I'm like, I get it. I see it. In 3, 2, 1, go. Just like explosions sounding in the background. Unbothered. Interesting to have this close up on you. Literally unbothered. She's just like, oh, there's fighting going on. Mm-hmm. Good luck with that. Look, in Khun we trust, but also, like, sometimes things do sneak up on him, regardless of how involved he tries to be. They always have him in so much shadow, which I think is interesting too, because, like, Khun always has a bunch of different stuff going on in terms of what he's working on, what he has plans for, but also he is a very, like, morally gray character. So I think that having him in all these, like, extreme shadows is, you know, very symbolic of that. Also, like, of the fact that he is kind of intentionally misleading people with his team, right? With Rachel pretending to be someone he isn't in order to manipulate them in the way that he wants to, right? So that definitely adds into it to have all these kind of extreme shadows for him. And I just think it's like an interesting symbol to bring in. I'm excited to see how we're gonna animate all this, because, like, the statue thing, right? Because we have the hand, but then there's, like, the statue embedded, and I'm waiting to see what we're gonna do with all that. If, again, the animation can can give me something cool, we'll see. I do feel like some of the pacing is, like, a little bit faster. I have some thoughts. I've been thinking about it. Let it germinate. He's not worth it. The, like, cut on his backpack too. See, like, that looks pretty cool. Sometimes the animation is like, sure, and then other times I'm like, aw. Sound design there is pretty cool, though. Having that synth that's almost like this, like, vibration through it is cool with, like, Novik's power. I like that they can work together. Like, for all of their bickering and back and forth, Novik and Ren can work together. They just choose not to. They just choose animosity. Dang. I forgot they, like, threw him. It's impressive. Thank goodness there was a slowdown on the attack. You come out of the way. Feels a little bit like different pacing when you have to translate it from still images to animation. I don't know why we have to keep cutting back to Khun hacking. See, like, that's the reveal we need. Mm-hmm. Put the pieces together. Be suspicious. Come on, get it together. Take it out by a tiny step. You need to chill out. I love Teddy Bear, but like still. Also, because this is what happens. I told you he wasn't worth it. Uh, goes through a lot. Usually because of Cassano. And I will continue to be salty about it. Oh, you picked a fight with the wrong person. If there's one thing that will make Bam go Super Saiyan, it is when the lives of his friends are threatened. Stirring the pot. Mm-hmm. Just to put out single parent, trying to make it work. Mm-hmm. Yeah, crazy, isn't it? See? Teamwork. I was waiting for him to show off again. He was, in fact, going easy on them. I love that. Why would I know that? Also a good question. Look at the moderation too. Growth. Yeah. The the animation is questionable, isn't it? It's looking a little potato there for a second. Again, I come from an era of anime in which that is just what we accepted. But I can understand. It really shows with combat heavy episodes, right? It just makes me feel like Ran and Novik got like the short end of the stick. Because this is like the moment where we really get to see them fight. Just like how they're just like vaguely put out. Yeah. Very confusing. I don't know why we went with right arm with both of them. One's clearly right and one's clearly left. Yeah. Awkward. Of course, you're like, put a break in the scene there. Ooh, the stress I felt reading this in the webtoon. The fact that he's just like not even paying attention yet. Mom's going through a whole crisis. Yeah, she's scary. Mm-hmm. Just chilling with his emo hair. The vague just moment of, oh, you're alive. Same. That's how I feel every time I see Cassano too. Poor sweet boy. Mm-hmm. The collective, like, unimpressed. Wow. What was that? Faceless is never good. I mean, he does tend to stand out. Yep. I said it early on when I was going through Up 2, and I'm like, we can't see Michael's eyes. Don't trust him. Oh, he's smiling? Don't trust it. Connect the dots, Khun. You got this. Mm-hmm. I don't know why we're We're throwing shade at this particular moment. The change in the voice, though, between those two, like the flashback and like the current monologue. True. You're gonna have to be a lot more cunning than that. And just like that, connect some dots. Yeah. She's so she's so uncomfy. Uh like the zealous nature of her. Can we talk about how she has the like slit pupils like Rachel does? Coincidence? I think not. Yeah, she's unhinged. The like bell tolling is also eerie. And then we can see his eyes. Because that was Bum talking. I mean, we were told that he was alive. It's just a little more complicated. Oof. Pointed. Oh. Borb. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm like, it's probably not at the top of their list of concerns. Mm-hmm. It's cool. He's more clever than you think. Also, he has some powerful friends. I mean, honestly, you probably shouldn't have. I feel like Dan's life would have been a lot easier if he hadn't. Less complicated anyway. Mm-hmm. Not for you. Girl, your legs are fine. Thank you. It's like the one time we see Michael's eyes in this moment. Mm-hmm. She likes to pretend she's a mastermind. And this is why I'm still salty about Rachel. She sucks. Or maybe he was a little too close to home, wasn't he? Maybe he's a little too insightful. Speaking of unhinged, like I said, those two having the same eyes or very similar eyes seems like it isn't a coincidence. What have you done that's so wrong? Ma'am, how much time do you have? I have an alphabetized list. Yeah, I assumed that we were going to end, or at least get into some of that around the like 12, 13 episode mark, right? I was assuming that we're going to get into some of that with Khun getting back to his team and realizing what's happening around like episode like 12 or 13, because that's a good way of pushing us into workshop battle stuff. But dang, yeah, no, the trauma is still there for me, because every time I get to a point where Rachel's, I'm not that bad of a person, I'm just willing to make sacrifices to be great. And I'm like, you suck. I've watched you not only actively try to kill so many people, but that was personal, right? You didn't need to attack Dan like that, and you did. So I will continue to be salty. I will continue to roll my eyes when you come on screen. I will continue to sigh forlornly when I have to deal with your story, because I refuse to not be salty about it. But I do definitely see where some of it's coming from. Like, I feel like animation stuff, like I was saying, I feel like some of the characters got short-sticked because you don't get to like really see their powers as well when you have the animation going a little bit of a different way. But also I feel like some of the kind of choices in this were weird. There was some like weird humor stuff that I don't think was supposed to be humor. I think it was supposed to be like legitimate, and I'm like, huh, I just thought it was funny because it was a bit janky. But that is definitely starting to show in some of this. I can definitely get it. I know that people said like earlier on is when it started to dip in some of the quality, but I'm starting to feel it now, especially like there's so much going on with this particular part of the story, and in terms of like action and like characters coming together and betrayals and like important things that kind of motivate characters going forward. And it just feels sad that some of it isn't like to the quality that some of the earlier stuff was. Especially like I was even noticing like the eyes, like earlier on I'm like, oh, they did some really cool artwork with the eyes, just the way that they did the like irises are just like really pretty, and like the way that they were painted. And I was noticing this, I'm like, oh, even something like that is just like not there anymore, which obviously it depends on like the lighting and the close-ups and stuff like that. They're gonna put enough detail in like the eyes or whatever, but it was just like a pretty art detail, and that's gone now. And I'm like, ooh, I'm starting to feel it a little bit more than I did before. And there's some strange choices in some of the decisions for this episode, but I'm still enjoying it though. I'm still enjoying going back through it and being reminded of some of the little details and things like that. And I still think that the like music design, sound design on this is actually pretty good. I think that the team is still doing a really good job, and like music cue stuff, the decisions for what the music and like even just synths that are being added into the music, I think they do a really good job of incorporating some of that into the series. But I hope you enjoyed watching that along with me. You can click this place to go to my previous reactions, or you can subscribe so next time I post a Tower of God reaction. I will see you in the next video. Bye.